Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash, here with our hosts, with former legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother, Teja Dash. Guys, rough loss last night. It's kind of interesting. We dominated the Thunder by 19 on Christmas or on New Year's Eve.
Bad loss.
Yeah. Oh, really? You think it's bad loss, huh?
Yes.
Tell us why you think that, Eric.
Because you got a team that's a game that's very winnable, and you got a road stretch right after it. So that's like being on the road. Like if we're on the road, people may be like, yeah, it can happen. But at home, knowing you got this road stretch behind it, and now you get into the guts of the season because if you're on national TV, most time you play someone good, and the league seems to hold those games until later in the season. The schedule is only getting tougher, in my opinion. So that's a bad loss. And the way it was done makes it even worse. It's not like it was a last-second shot or things just didn't go your way, bad whistle. No, that was just not a very good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like an early season loss for us. Like we were waiting for the team to lose for us. We were waiting for them to realize that we're more talented and they should lose to us, but no one's going to do that. So I will say before that, when we were doing predictions for that, OKC has been playing good ball. They won 4 out of 6. They beat the Celtics, Wizards, Mavericks. They lost to the Heat by 1. And that's, them and the Magic loss, which is pretty bad. But in general, since our last blowout on them, they have had some pretty good victories.
They shouldn't go to a team that say they want to win a championship and beat them by 20 on their court.
Yeah.
And score 133 points. Come on, man.
Yeah, because even their Boston win, when they scored 150, they did it at OKC. Yeah, at least they did it at home.
I'm saying on your court, 133 and a 20-point win.
It's embarrassing. We couldn't even get back into it. We couldn't get I think we got within like 6 at one point, but they went right back up to 10.
That can't happen with the team we have, and we give them all the credit, and we want Joel to win MVP, and James is great, and Maxey's growing, and you got Tobias and all these. That can't happen. That can't happen. I mean, it's not like it was Golden State or someone that came in that's kind of proven that we know how they are in the moment. That can happen. They get to making shots and stuff like that, but for a team that a lot of people can't name their starting 5.
I blame their defense too. Our defense. I mean, I think our defense was just atrocious. And I actually read a stat. Speaking of Maxey, just now during his absence, we were, I think, 4th in defense.
Yeah.
Since he's been back, I think Michael KB just said 23rd. I think since he's been back. So in defense. So
you saying that's because of him in and Melton out? Because he didn't start the whole time.
No, he didn't. That's true. And he's missed games here and there. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's attributing to him. I mean, Melton is the better defender, and I think it balanced our starting 5 better. But, I think they're still figuring it out. We said that when Maxey came back. They're going to have to figure this out. We're back to figuring it out again. That's great.
Yeah. And 2 big games this weekend. I mean, we're gonna be tested on the road this week, and we'll get to the game predictions later on the episode. But yeah, that was it was a rough loss knowing that we're going on the road, as Eric said. So one of the things that everyone in the Sixer world, I think a lot of people are chalking up the Thunder game as like, just one of those bad games, right? Because everyone's kind of fixated on this whole all-star vote process that's going on right now. And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. So a lot of people are saying Embiid is getting the shaft in the all-star voting right now. Because right now he would come off the bench. I Bleav he's like of the forwards, because right now they don't even have a center anymore. It's just they have a front court and back court, and Embiid is the fourth highest vote getter of the forwards in the front court. So what are your thoughts on that? And do you like the way they're doing the vote counting this year, where they're kind of eliminating the center position as a whole and just making it a front court and back court thing?
It's been like that for a couple of years, though, right?
Has it? I thought that was a new thing this year.
New this year. Like, I don't know, but I'm. Look, man, this all-star voting, there's always been some issues. Back from when I played, when Yao Ming was starting over Shaq. It's people kind of went to this voting thing because centers that they didn't think should be starters were starting. That's why they kind of went to this kind of voting. Maybe Gobert or maybe before Gobert or something. It was centers were getting voted in, and people were like, why is he starting in the All-Star game? Well, he's a center. So they went to this. Now we're complaining that this isn't working because the center's not starting.
Too reactionary.
I get what you're saying, but now we have a game where you got two centers that everyone know are starting All-Star team, no matter how it's voted rather. We all know that Joker and Joel are starting All-Star players. Well, a few years back, you didn't have that. You had that year after year after year where people were like, no center should be starting. That's how this vote came about. Mm-hmm. My question is, like with Boston, I thought Tatum was a guard. But they have Tatum as the forward and Brown as the guard, which I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. 2012, 2013 was the first year they did it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's been a while. It's been a long time since they did it. But that's why they did it. Just look like
it just didn't affect the second top player in the NBA until
all
now.
those top players, outside of like Shaq, all those top players that were coming into their own, that were kind of still being all-stars, KG, Dirk, Tim, like towards the end they were all towards the end of their career, but they were all forwards.
Yeah.
So who was the center during that time that was getting voted in? I'm not even sure. Maybe DeMarcus Cousins, when he was rolling, I'm not even sure if that was that early.
12 and 13, I saw that the first year it happened, it affected Dwight Howard and Andrew Bynum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so see, now you have the top two MVP vote getters the past 2 years as the center now. So now it's like it's not deep, but
yeah,
it's a bit. It's
an issue. It's an issue because of those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll do anything about it unless maybe Joker don't get in too.
Yeah.
But it's just funny to see him on the bench.
I really don't. The way that the game is played now, I really don't think they'll change it back because I think they like the whole front court, back court. But it's just.
Are they not doing the draft this year between two players again?
Well, the draft is after the All-Stars are established.
Yeah,
that's right. But they can choose anyone that's been picked, right?
Yeah, they draft the All-Stars.
So Embiid could go first overall.
But he won't start.
But he still won't start?
No, They draft starters, and then they draft reserve.
That's right. Okay. God, it's more changes in my fantasy football league every year, man. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Embiid's still going to play top 5 minutes in this game, which is funny. So, but yeah, whatever.
Well, sorry.
A lot of the guys will be fighting to play minimum minutes. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's true. I think he enjoys it though. He likes being out there.
Giannis will play a lot and play hard.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said Giannis will play a lot and play hard in All-Star games.
Yeah, he will. Yep. Yeah. Last night I got pissed off because Embiid dove for that ball with like a minute and a half left. What the hell? I mean, what are you doing?
He could have hurt him and whoever the other player was.
Yeah. That was shish, man.
Dangerous. I did read. I think it was at Liberty Ballers. It was one of the Sixers blogs. They were talking about how maybe Sixers fans are looking at it in a different way because if Embiid starts in the All-Star game, he's going to play more minutes in the All-Star game naturally. But
maybe
not necessarily. I mean, it's really up to the coach. Like if you tell the coach, I'm not really trying to roll like that, he won't play you a lot. I mean, you'll just start, but they can take you out very quick and never put you back in. Like,
but now he's going to want to prove. Now he's going to want to prove something.
Yeah, like that. I don't see a guy saying, "Hey, pull me back on minutes," and then the coach saying, "Whatever, I'm gonna play you." Like,
yeah. And Embiid's the type to say, "Put me in. I'm gonna show him who the starter is."
Yeah, I think it is more of him getting to the moment and getting to the game, and now he's into the game and be like, "Yo, put me back in. I want to play," more than the coach is doing it on his own. If a guy says, "No, I'm good."
It also depends on how much they want to win because you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, with the new rules and the new scoring, if it's a close game, you'll see more of those guys. You'll know who they want to play and who's playing well, and they've kind of communicated that. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Interesting. It's funny that's been a rule for what, almost 10 years now. It's 10 years, and I didn't know about the rule, but now it's coming close to home. So I know the rule now
because it didn't affect you.
No, never affected us till now, which is funny.
Well, if you think about it, a good part of that 2012 to now, we were in that process era. So like I didn't even give a crap about the voting.
No.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But if you just think about it, like it wasn't any centers that were being really considered. That's why it wasn't really an issue until now.
Yep, pretty much Dwight. That's pretty much it for the teens, for the 2000 teens.
Yeah.
Dwight. I mean, Gobert, late teens, around the same time as Embiid.
Yeah, but Gobert was a guy that a lot of people said shouldn't be a starter.
Yeah.
So Dwight was maybe at that time where, he's a starter. But outside, that's why I said DeMarcus Cousins, I don't really know what he was.
Oh, that's true, too. That's a good one.
If he was considered a center or a forward, because he was playing really well, especially before he got injured. So
I read this StatMuse tweet, and soon after, I think everyone was posting Embiid stats and highlights saying, "Oh, this guy's not going to start." It was a 34-10 this season, 53.4 field goal percentage, first in points per game plus rebounds per game, first in 50-10 games, highest scoring season by a center since 1975. Pretty solid.
So I mean, I look at it differently, man. We've had, since I even did television, we've always had these conversations. People call them debates. I just call them conversations about the All-Star game. I've always took the stance of being an All-Star, winning should matter. And like, to me, and all of these awards and everything you do, winning matters. When you go MVP, winning matters. All defense, winning matters. Like, all that stuff, winning matters. But when you get to All-Star, they say winning should matter.
It turns into a popularity contest. That's why.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. So if the winning doesn't matter, then we shouldn't be surprised when guys don't start.
I think it's funny how defense seems to go, because my biggest argument with whenever it becomes an MVP conversation with Jokic and Embiid is
all the offensive stats.
Yeah, Embiid is the top defensive player on a team that's currently top 5, 10 in defense. So, I mean, how do you not?
Because defense, you can't just
attribute to one guy.
You can attribute to one guy if it's Dikembe Mutombo
or Gobert.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? They block shots, like a stat that people can look at and be like, "Hey, look where he's at compared to this guy," or "Look where he's at compared to the league." If Joel isn't really like that, he's not really blocking a lot of shots like that, and he's not really a high rebound guy, like high rebound guy. So sometimes rebounds are like looked at as defense almost when you have a high amount of rebounds, like Dwight Howard, for instance. Block shots, rebounds. Ben Wallace, block shots, rebounds.
Yep.
Dikembe, block shots and rebound. So they kind of still
go together.
Look at Joel as a great center, but an offensive center. And Joker's a great center, offensive center that's better offensively. So defense doesn't really come in, even though we can look at it and feel it and know it, but it's no stat. It's no stat that they can follow. Because we gotta realize, Teja, most of these people that are doing these votes aren't watching the Sixers like you are.
Yeah.
So they gotta go and they gotta look and let me find this paper and
they're all about these. They're all about stat analytics, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they're not looking at analytics defensively.
Yeah.
They look at analytics for Jokic's offense.
Yes, they do. For individuals offensively, they do, but individually defense, they look team and collectively. They're not going to. And you also got to understand that if they look for that, then they're not going to look for it if they already feel that that's their guy. So why would they look for reasons to not confirm that Joker is their guy?
Yeah. There was a stat last year. I forgot exactly what it was.
Like they came out with an MVP vote and he's like number one. Like, I'm like, huh? No, I understand what I'm saying, but it's like, and I love Joker. Like, he get great numbers, but it doesn't feel like it just, I don't know. I don't know if it don't, you get great numbers, but it don't feel like Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Joel feels
he's not dominant.
He feels closer to Shaq to me. Not saying that they are Shaq, but I'm just saying he feels like he gives me that, man, they can't do anything with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody that I talk to that's in the league is coaching, they all say Joker is like that, but I don't feel it and see it when I watch him play. I just see
you don't feel
a very skilled, talented player, but it doesn't really necessarily feel like he dominates guys. Makes guys want to just quit and makes teams double him. And maybe because he spends so much time on the perimeter and on the ball, it's just different. Mm-hmm. It's different. It's very effective, but it's just different for me.
Yeah, he gives me more like if Russell Westbrook was a center vibes, and he gives me Shaq vibes. You know, like amazing.
Well, Russell's going to be dominant. That's what I'm saying, because I already play and I already goes. Mm-hmm. He's more like a finesse player. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's very skilled, but he's almost like a forward than a center. Like the way he plays. Even though he gets down on that post and he would put people in the basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's a great player. I'm not. I don't want to have all the jokes.
I'm just saying, like, that's
coming after us on.
That's just kind of the vibe I get from him. That's just the vibe that I get. It's just like his numbers, but I still don't feel like he. And that's hard because it's hard to get those numbers. Like, people could talk about it, but you ain't just walking on the court getting them.
It's funny too. Josh Reynolds, a big Sixer guy on Twitter, he posted. He goes, "Show me when Jokic does this," and he showed the play from last night where Embiid sky out of nowhere and blocked that dunk from almost behind, but he got in there. It was insane. And then someone posted their Jokic version of that, which was Jokic lumbering, falling backwards, and like barely tipping the ball and hitting the guy's arm in the process. And it was like CJ McCollum's like flip up. And then he just laughed. He said, laughing my ass off underneath that like guy's pose. It's like that's your version of that. It's like, man, that's like a watered down like high school basketball play compared to what Embiid did.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's not who he is. Like, that's not what he
No,
is.
Of course not. Yeah. But people do try to argue that. Like, look at this defensive stat that
I mean, I get that online. Like if you really into it, if you're a Joker guy and you feel that he's the best and he should be MVP, you should probably not be arguing defense.
Mm-hmm.
They do though, man.
Yeah, you just stick to what he does.
Advanced stat: when guys dribble 17 times in the third quarter, Jokic is a better defender on him. It's like, what? Like, what? Shut up. Watch the game. You don't need to. Don't look at stats. You don't need to. When you watch Embiid switch on a guard and he doesn't let him shoot because the guy can't shake loose.
I mean, at the end of the day, you go by in the playoffs, and you go look at teams when they play when the playoffs come and they start playing, or games that are really big, important towards the end of the year, and see how if teams avoid or involve those players defensively.
Mm-hmm.
That'll tell you.
Yeah.
That'll tell you how he's viewed.
Well, wasn't that
trying to get away? If they're trying to go away from involving that guy, there's a reason why. It's just like offensively, you want a guy that was, that like when I played, or other Thybulle guys, they want them to take the shots because they feel like that's their best chance to get a mess. It's a strategy. So it's the same on the other end. If you're pulling, that's what I'm saying. Is pay attention to see how he's being involved defensively when they play teams and when the games really, really matter, and they're playing the same team where you know what they do over and over again, like you do in the playoffs. That'll tell you a lot of how teams view guys defensively.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Marcus?
No, I was just saying that the play that a lot of Sixer fans post when the Embiid and Jokic arguments happen online is the Game 6 in the playoffs 2 years ago, where the Nuggets subbed out. It was a pivotal defensive possession, and they subbed out Jokic during that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that tells you all you need to know about a guy.
That tells you enough.
Yep. And it killed them to do that. That was like we have to try this. We have to do it.
There's no switching in the world. You can't take out Joel winning time like that. Can't do it.
Yeah. It's just interesting too, because it's funny that Harden came to the Sixers, because Harden and Embiid I don't feel like they get their due, and there's a lot of double standards out there that people dog, because you look at Harden's stats, right? And someone, I think it was Bill Simmons on a show recently, went on and on about how Halliburton deserved to be, the all-star or starter, all this stuff, because he talked about him averaging 20 and 10 this season, and he's the only player to do that. And it's like, well, you totally forgot James. And every time Doncic has this crazy 40-point, 15 assists, 10 rebound game, and everyone's saying he's a one of a kind, Harden does that all the time. I mean, like,
it's all of these things that people have done has been done. I mean,
he does it nightly.
It's so when they do all these stats, just think, they do all these stats and they say it hadn't been done since. That means it's been done. So why aren't we talking about the guy that? So you say, like, almost all these stats that come out, the common name is Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
But y'all dismiss Wilt Chamberlain as the greatest to ever play.
Yep.
They say his stats, he wouldn't do that nowadays. Like, how do we know? All we know is it's been done.
Yeah.
So don't give me, that's what I'm saying. You can't give me stats talking about what a guy's doing, but then dismiss the guy that you say it hadn't been done since that guy.
He actually has better stats than Halliburton, which is
but it's not like all these guys they're bringing up, all these guys are doing all these stats. I'm just saying, a lot of these things that happen is one common name more than any other name. It's Wilt Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like Wilt Chamberlain at this point is like a barometer of like perfection. It's like,
then you know what a lot of people say about Wilt?
God did this 40 years ago. But that's it.
You know the biggest knock on Wilt?
Shooting?
He didn't win.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So the goalposts be moving so much on all these stats, because now you fast forward to the LeBron and people that debate the LeBron and MJ. They say winning shouldn't matter. Or Jordan only won because of Pippen, which I'd never heard that argument in my life until, younger people start saying it.
They only did that as a counter because people said LeBron only won because of Wade. That's why.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like people that, I played against those guys when I was younger, and people that I know played their whole career against those guys, like that conversation, like, never came up. Like, I never heard anyone say that. Anyone ever say that until I was like a few years ago. But at the same time, we didn't talk about, excuse me, a lot of stuff that they talk about right now.
Yeah, he played with another top 25 player. Cool. So did Stockton and Malone. They didn't win rings. So we can do that. We can do that a lot.
Yeah, Scottie was great, but you can't say MJ's success was because of Scottie. Like, just like you can't say Scottie's success was because of MJ. You know what I'm saying? It was success because of who they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halliburton, I mean, it was interesting. Some friends of mine, we got a little group text, and they were my older son, who's really into all of this stuff. We'll have him on one day.
Oh yeah.
He sent his list of who should make the All-Star. He's really pushing, he's like a guy that's like always want to pull for the guy that should make it, or almost, that might not be.
Kind of overlooking.
He's pulling for that guy. So he's like, do I think Jalen Brunson will make it? And I said, you got a case? I said, I think if they finish in the top 6, I think he may get in. But there we go again, the winning. So Kev, who was also in there with us, like sent his list of players from the guard position who he thought would be considered to get in. And they asked me what I thought about the list. I was like, well, a lot of people think Halliburton should get in too. He said, oh yeah, I forgot to mention him. So we don't know.
People love Halliburton. Halliburton's great. He's having a great year, but don't make it sound like he's a one of a kind.
No, but what I said was, when he said Jalen, I was like, would you take Jalen over James Harden? And he was like, oh. I just said, would you do that? And he was like, oh, I didn't even really think about that. Like, he's thinking that James is like a lock. I'm like, James is not a lock.
No, he's not. It's averaging 22, 7, and 11, and he's not a lock.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, his numbers is.
But the guy averaging 20 and 10 is a unicorn. But the guy averaging 22, 11, and 7 is not.
He's had so much success that he's compared against himself.
Yes.
Where, Halliburton's compared against himself too. But himself is showing improvement, where James is a decrease from what he's shown.
One's doing it for the first time. One's doing it for like the 18th time.
Yes.
So it's like, we've seen this before. That says James and his stats. He always has those. Who cares?
Yes. So that happens a lot. I mean, that happens to LeBron James. So many
times. It happens in every sport. It happens in football too. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
unfortunate.
James is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
I think he gets in. I just,
I think his biggest knock is games played, actually. Because he doesn't qualify for a lot of those.
Halliburton is out now too. So I mean,
technically he qualifies. Like if you go to their names on ESPN, by each of Halliburton's stats, it says where he ranks. It doesn't even say that for Harden, because I don't think he qualifies for anything because of games played. Which is maybe why Bill Simmons said those things. No one else is doing this, but it's like, okay, what? 4 more games when he plays, he'll be qualified. He will have done those.
He'll be qualified by the time they vote.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Unless he doesn't play anymore. But
what's the percentage of games you need to qualify?
I'm not certain. I'm not changed or not. But I think I think that if it was a chance that he would make it, it would be a conversation. Like, you would hear about it. But I don't really know. I'm not certain. But has Joel missed more games than James?
That's interesting. Let me see.
I feel like he has.
Harden's played 26 games. Joel has played. He qualified, so I think he's played more.
Oh, wow.
26, 30. He's played 4 more games than him.
Damn.
So he qualified, then we know all he needs is 4 more games.
Yep. He'll hit the threshold soon.
Yep. I couldn't find what the minimum, I'm sure it's a percentage of games played, but I couldn't find it yet. So
I don't think it's as high as you think. I think
he's got to be close. If Joel qualifies and he's third and he's played 4 more games with him, then he's on the cusp,
Yeah, I think it's even more than half. If you're more than half, I think you can play.
Yeah.
I mean, in past All-Star games, people didn't that didn't even matter. I remember when Shaq was getting voted to the All-Star game when he was with Boston and Phoenix, Shaq, and that wasn't.
I mean, it was
Penny Hardaway was getting voted in when he hadn't played in like 2 years. All right,
yeah,
well,
you get voted in. You got voted in. You got voted in. I mean,
it didn't matter.
When I came in the league, it was the fans voted for the starters.
Mm.
That was it. It was no conversation, just fans.
Yeah.
And they eventually changed that. So I don't even know the voting process now. I mean, I don't even know who vote. Like, I don't even know the percentages of votes and all. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually had a conversation in our group message about who was going, which 3 guys were going to get in from the East. Because at the time, Joel was leading.
Mm-hmm.
And we all felt that Joel would probably be the odd man out.
Wow.
Too bad, man.
That's too bad. He has what, a couple more days until the voting's done. When's the voting over?
I'm not sure, but all I know is those 3 votes matter. That's why the forwards will always get more votes than the guards.
Yeah,
because it's 3 votes.
Yeah.
Ends the 21st, so get your votes in, everybody.
Oh, why are people already chalking it up as a loss as if he's not going to get into that 3?
Maybe because where it's trending.
Oh, yeah.
Starter. I mean, yeah. I don't. Like I said, I picked that he wouldn't get in. I picked that Giannis and KD and Tatum would. Once I found out Tatum was a forward,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I thought they would pass him.
When's All-Star Weekend? Because
February. It's usually like Valentine's Day weekend.
18th, 19th.
Yeah.
Durant might still be out. So.
Yeah, so he could start because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But he may not be voted in as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think KD's going to play.
Yeah.
So I think Joel will get in because of that. But I don't think if as is, I think he's not going to get more votes than KD.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's too bad.
So
maybe
they still let people vote more than once.
I think there's like a limit to 3 times a day or something like that. Or two
that's
times.
new.
Yeah,
you can only back in the day you can only vote once.
Mm-hmm.
Your email, you had to create an email or all kinds of. There was a lot of them were write-ins too. You had to write in to send it. It was very different. Man.
That's funny. Maybe a silver lining. Maybe if he doesn't start, maybe second half of the season he'll come out like guns a-blazing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's a lot of guys willing, able to start. Man, it's just you can only choose 5 or 10.
It would be hilarious. It'd be hilarious if he ended up winning MVP, but he wasn't a All-Star starter.
I think he'll take that.
Yeah, he'll take it and run.
So for our next topic, we had after our episode last on Tuesday, we had a bunch of fans ask us about certain trade targets. And I think a big thing was a lot of people were talking about our perimeter defense. So I think that might be something that people are looking at as far as we go into the trade deadline season. Think of some targets. These are guys whose names have been thrown around. Some of these guys we've been talking about, maybe going last year, we talked about some of these targets. But I wanted to ask you, these are the 5 names that came up that I wanted to ask you guys about as far as what you think we need and what do you think realistically could we go for these guys. So the names were at the bottom of the screen. You can see PJ Washington, Jared Vanderbilt, Terrence Ross, Jay Crowder, and Garrison Matthews. Of these names, which is one guy that stands out to you based on what you're seeing we need right now on this team?
There were 2 more I saw added recently, Kenyon Martin Jr. and Jalen McDaniels, but I think one of these guys might be ahead of them anyway, but just throwing it out there.
Only Jay. If I could pick one.
Okay.
Because, how many times he done played for teams that went to the finals? We trying to win the championship, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's the plan, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I like the rest of those guys, but they're younger. Some of them are younger, especially PJ and Jared. They're my sons played with those guys. So they young. They trying to get contracts and trying to get deals to come and have them fit into a role. They don't really like. I like PJ, but PJ can actually help us. I think he can help us a lot. But that's pulling from Tobias. Like, you can't play them both together.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't think you can. Where I think Jay is a proven guy that if you want to go small, you want to play bigger, you can make an open shot and be tough. And I'm looking at this not as a long-term thing or a potential deal after this. I'm saying plug and play right now.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder.
Yeah. I looked at our main weaknesses lately. Rebounding. We're 23rd defensive rebounding overall, 27th offensive rebounding, and 28th total rebounding. Perimeter defense, and our bench is hurting again. I like Vanderbilt. I think he's 14th in offensive rebounding, 21st overall in total rebounds per 36. I just don't. I think it's just going to be hard with Tobias, and even PJ at 4 playing sometimes. I don't see him getting enough playing time, and that's not going to fly with him because, like you said, he's going to be going for his first decent sized contract, and if he comes here, he's going to be playing less than he's playing in Utah, so that's not going to go very well. PJ, I see the same type of thing. I think PJ can help too because PJ can rebound too, and he can score. He's been scoring a lot for them lately too. He'd be a great addition for certain lineups at 3, mostly backup 4, and scoring from our bench. But yeah, if we're going for plug and play, I would say Jay Crowder as well. But it's ironic you said these guys are going for contracts. Isn't that kind of what Jay Crowder's playing, starting in money? Isn't that what he's kind of holding out right now to a degree?
Yeah, because he didn't give him an extension.
But
but Jay has a market, and he's already established that. So Terrence Ross would probably be my second guy because he's a guy that can play at 3 and he can get hot. So you can have those games where you can stretch the court and spread the court. And he's a guy that's, I think he's capable of defending and rebounding and being active.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's probably at that stage of his career where, like, hey, I got a chance to win. I would probably say he's second. Because I just think with PJ and Jared, I think that they, especially PJ, if PJ's coming and he's going to be a starter, but you're going to have him come and be a backup to Joel and backup forward, like, I just don't know how we would use him.
Another reason what I'm looking for too, I'm sorry, I forgot this earlier, guys that can guard Tatum or Brown. Just a guy that we can put on them and
Jay Crowder and Terrence Ross.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Jared Vanderbilt can guard him too.
Crowder.
Jared Vanderbilt is probably the better defender out of the 5.
PJ can guard them. I think he is all right against them. I also think
PJ, I'll put PJ on Brown. I wouldn't put him on Tatum.
Yeah, I think that'd be a better matchup for him. I think Kenyon Martin Jr. either. If you're going really cheap, you're going for just a bench piece. That's another guy you could stick on him too, and he does do some dirty.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I'm looking at this, and I'm saying I'm looking at this list is like, if we get Jared Vanderbilt, like you in some ways you have a similar guy in your guy.
Which my guy?
Oh,
you're guy. You know who your guy is.
You know.
You just wanted to make 1-3 a game.
You're comparing Vanderbilt to 1-3 a game. Are you talking about PJ Tucker?
No, what?
Oh,
Tease, dude.
I had the same rule for Brian. No, Tease was 36%. Tucker was 1-3 a game, I think.
No, they're talking about preseason, man.
Okay. Vanderbilt's a little taller than them, right? Vanderbilt's more like a 4 version of that.
Vanderbilt's really like a 3.
Is he?
I mean, my son played against him and played with PJ when they were younger, so I've seen him. He was like a 3.
Yeah, he's more of a 3.
6'8". He's pretty big. All right, yeah, all right.
The way he plays, he's playing 3 more than,
I mean, yeah, I think Vanderbilt would solidify our rebounding. I think we get him. If we're bottom in rebounding, there's a problem at that point. I think that's if they see them rebounding as a major issue, target Vanderbilt. That's what you should do. If that's the main thing here. It sucks we can't. Someone proposed. One of our listeners, Liam Carson, he's a big fan. He posted Paul Reed, Thybulle, and a 23-second for Vanderbilt. Would you do that?
All three guys from Vanderbilt?
I wouldn't.
Paul Reed, Thybulle, and a 2023 second.
No.
Vanderbilt.
They would have to add something else in there.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're trying to open up a salary, like a roster spot, I understand it. If you're able to, all of a sudden, Jay Crowder becomes available, free agency wise. Like I think you do that to get another roster spot, but just to make the move, that might be giving up a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have something that's coming with it or going into that spot.
Yeah.
You're giving up two guys that could potentially one injury away from being in your rotation consistent.
Yep. Who I don't think Vanderbilt's light years ahead of those guys. So it's like
No. I mean, he may be a better fit, and I do see that. I see why you would do it as far as him being a better fit. I just think from a standpoint of roster spots and depth, you may need to address something else with that.
Yeah. And PJ's contract's really reasonable too. He makes $5 million, so that's a plus in what we'd have to give up to get him as far as money goes. But
Three-way deal. Get Eric Gordon from Houston in that deal.
yeah, right.
We still on Eric Gordon.
It's still he still pops up in dreams now and again in the background.
No, there's a big contingency of the new Sixers fans, the Harden stands, that they'll post like pictures of Eric Gordon, like he's coming, like, and they'll put a picture of Eric Gordon wearing a Sixers jersey. It's like
That's
not
funny.
happening.
That's funny.
No, we'd have to shed a lot more salary than that to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So last topic, we mentioned that big weekend on the road, going to Utah, and then going to LA. So the fun LA trips coming up here. So Saturday night we got Utah, and I'm looking at the betting lines right here. We are a 4-point favorite with 71% of the money on us as of right now. That could change, but that's right now.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll win. Yeah, we'll win it.
Ooh,
All right.
You're pretty confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, why so confident on that, Eric? Because the domination yesterday, you think guys are going to come out?
We got to come. We can't lose after that. After that showing, we got to go out there and win. I think that Joel has to go in and establish himself right away. We got to go and dominate. He has some teams that plan ahead that are missing guys that he got to go dominate, especially the start of this trip.
Oh, I know why. They have a back-to-back.
Utah does?
Yeah. They play tonight and tomorrow.
Both at home, I'm assuming, tonight and tomorrow at home.
Yeah, they play the Magic tonight and then us tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they're smart. They'll rest some guys against the Magic and have them against us. We'll see. I back-to-back, us being pissed off. I like us in that matchup. 4 points. I'll take the 4 points. I want to see what their home record is. They are home. Okay. 13. They're 13-7 on at home.
They just had a big win against Cleveland the other night, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're hovering around 500. Yeah, they're having a pretty good season.
Yeah, a lot of people
comparatively, what people were expecting out of them.
Yeah, a lot of people wrote them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to start losing games if they fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh boy. They started
off hot too.
They've had a rough couple weeks though. They lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, and they lost.
Yeah, the plan is coming into fruition.
7 out of 8. Coming into this game, I don't know what to do against the Magic, but they lost the last 7 out of 9 games. going into Magic tonight. So
that's about right where everybody thought the plan would be.
Yeah.
A lot of those were, I will say, not to defend them, a lot of them were road games. So 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of those losses were road games. Still.
Yeah. I mean, giving them 4 points at home on Saturday night. I mean, a lot of public. I'm surprised that was the money line. So 71% of people have just picked us money line. That was
okay.
So
it's a little early anyway.
Yeah, but I can see a lot of people giving them the 4 points at home. People just taking a U team at home with 4 points. But yeah, based on what you guys said, I see us winning that game as well. So Sunday night we go to LA for a Lakers game. It's way too early for the spread to come out on that one. I don't have the spread for you guys on that one. I got to imagine Lakers have been playing pretty well recently, so they might be the favorite in that game. But who do you guys have in the game on Sunday night?
I think Joel has to have one of those 30-15 games, and we'll win it. If he doesn't, it'll be tough.
I'm trying to pull up the Lakers right now because
Lakers they'll play well and like top teams they play well. They'll play well.
Yeah, they're down. They lost 2 straight. They have a couple days of rest. They lost the Mavericks and Nuggets.
The Mavericks, that was double overtime. So
yeah, and then before that they won 5 straight. Yeah. So in general, they're playing pretty well lately. I'd say I'll say we'll win that game. We'll get up 4. I think we win 2 straight. I think the OKC game. I hope the OKC game puts a little of a bit of an effect on us, an impact on us, because that was bad.
I think Joel got to have a big game. This weekend he got to play well.
And hopefully they don't get to LA too early, so Harden can't have nighttime festivities.
They don't get there Friday night.
No, because they play
Utah games at 9 p.m.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean,
how much? New topic. How much time does Harden need?
But they're in LA for a few days, though, right? Do they play the Clippers after that?
Tuesday night we got Clippers.
So it's the Clipper game. We're probably worried about that.
I'm more worried about the trip after LA.
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you can get it in, and you can get your work in, and hang out, and still be ready to play them LA games. But when you leave LA, you might leave some back in LA.
You also might take something out of LA too.
Yeah. That's I wish we had some trips like that. I played, man. LA for 4 nights, 3 nights.
That's nice. It's pretty nice. They get Sunday. They get to watch the playoff games there. They get to watch the Monday night game.
No, you count Saturday night.
They're definitely counting Saturday.
Oh, yeah, you count Saturday night. Yeah,
that's true. Saturday night, Sunday night.
Because Saturday night, most likely, you don't have to get up for a shoot around on Sunday. Woo, man, that's a nice Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night.
Saturday night. What time they gonna get into LA? Because our game's 9 Eastern Standard Time. So what time is it in Utah? Is it 3 hours behind in Utah?
No, 2 hours behind.
2 hours. So
and LA's 3 hours behind. So you're gaining an hour.
They'll
get that enough time to do what you got to do.
Oh, absolutely. That's a close enough trip for them to get there real fast.
Look, man.
Yeah.
It might just be turning, Sunday when you get there, but LA will give you some energy.
And then we don't play till Thursday after that. And that's in Portland. So
they may even stay Tuesday night too. Woo! We might get blown out in Portland.
Portland's gonna run our ass down, man. Portland's gonna run us.
That's a nice trip.
Lillard and those guys already know. They're
see, Doc coached in LA, so he, unlike some coaches, he may be inclined to stay.
Yeah,
because
that's true
you don't know if he has a home there. Like, you don't know, but he may be like, I'm going to Portland until Wednesday.
Yeah. We can book that right now. We can make that prediction for the Portland game right now, I think.
If they stay until Wednesday, yeah, you can chalk up Portland.
And then we got Sacramento on Saturday. Man.
Yeah, we may lose both.
I'd say between Portland and Sacramento, you might even get a Vegas.
That put even more importance on these next 2 games.
Yeah. You might even get a quick stop in Vegas in between all that stuff. They come visit you, Eric.
Yeah, we had longer trips when I played, but we didn't have like where you stayed at one place that long.
Mhm.
We just had longer trips. Like almost all the trips were
Like
6-7 games.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going all the way on the coast, but you just didn't have. They were like every other day or back to back, and then you were out.
Yeah, man.
We didn't have it in one place for 4 or 5 days. Like, man.
These guys earn it, man. You know, long season. They get to enjoy a few nights in LA.
How long is this road trip, by the way?
Yeah, you check that schedule as soon as it come out in August.
Mm-hmm.
You chalk up which trip you're looking forward to.
All right.
Okay, so our road trip ends in Sacramento. Okay, then we go back to play that the Brooklyn game. Okay,
That's right.
All right.
All right. Well, hopefully we get these 2 dubs because it sounds like next week might be we might be in for a little bit of a treat for us, and not in a good way for the guys.
Little tough.
Yes.
Little tough.
Yeah. All right, guys. We hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
All right. Take it easy.
All right, fellas.